Hi, it's Barb at Random Crafty Acts. We're doing another mask making video. I donate a lot of my cards, so mask making is one of the things that's most common, and I was going to put these off for a little bit, but realized that I had a bunch of birthday cards I needed to have done, so that's what we're going to do today. In mask making video number 1, which got kind of long, I'm hoping this one will be a little shorter. I need 5 cards, and so I made 4 cards that were for women. This one is for my brother-in-law, so I'm going to make kind of more masculine cards. And the only reason that it's a little more masculine, I guess, is because of the color palette. Instead of flowers, which, not that he wouldn't enjoy flowers, but it gives me the opportunity to use some of the 8.5 by 11 paper I've got. I bought a whole bunch of 8.5 by 11 paper at one point, and I'm trying to work my way down through everything that I've got as far as pattern paper is concerned. Okay, so as in the previous video, I'm working with this paper busting template number 2 by Jess Crafts from jesscrafts.com. She is my go-to for mask making for a couple of reasons. First of all, her videos are very simple. Secondly, her templates for the pattern paper, notice we're going to get 4 cards. These pieces are going to go here. These pieces are going to go here. We're going to use some color cardstock to make the mats. And when it comes to the pattern paper, we have no scraps left. And that's one of my favorite things about Jess's work. You can find her webpage. You can find her on YouTube. Again, she's absolutely fantastic as far as being able to access all of the templates she's got. And she has them for 6x6, 6x8, 12x12, A2, which is a small size that I think scrapbook.com makes. But I find her very helpful. She also donates a lot of her cards. So if you'll look under the resources section, you'll find all kinds of information. Okay, let's get started. All right, this is a template that is set up to be used for non-directional paper. And that the reason is this. See how these, you're going to cut them this way? If your flowers were going like this, that would mean that your flowers would be sideways when you put it over here. So this way, this particular pattern can go this way or this way, and it doesn't make any difference. All right. The other thing you always look at when you're figuring out where do I make my first cut, okay? You want to find a line that goes all the way from one side to the other. So you wouldn't make your first cut here, for example, okay? But you would either make your first cut here or you make your first cut here. If, for example, you decide you only wanted to make 2 cards, you could make your first cut here and then take this piece and leave it alone. Considering the way my cutting platform works, I don't want to get my bigger one out. I'm going to make my first cut here so that it's side to side. Okay, so this is the 4. This is the 4 1/4, and this is the 3. So I'm going to cut 2 strips of 3. And the way the paper is set up, it doesn't make any difference which side. Okay, 3 inches. Is that how the bottom is? No, that's a good catch, Barb. Okay, we're going to cut this is the one that's going to go on the top. Okay, and I always lay my paper out the way it's showing here so that I don't get confused. And 3. Okay, and then this piece should be 5 inches. And remember, as we've been cutting paper all along, sometimes, okay, this fits right up against, so that's good. All right, now this piece needs to be 4 1/4. And I'm going to double check this one just to make sure it's 4 1/4. Yep. Okay. 4 1/4. And I keep my template out where I can keep looking at the numbers because, you know, sitting here, and the next thing you know, you're thinking about something else, and all of a sudden you've got a whole bunch of pieces that are wrong. So that's the 5. So these are in 2 and 0.125. And notice me lean over here to look at my card, and 125 is 1/8. Okay. Which is the other thing I like about this cutting platform, is it lists all of that up ahead on the top and I don't have to guess. And that's 2 1/8, and I'm glad I looked at that before I sliced. So and 2 1/8. And 2 1/8, and I haven't looked to see how we're going to do with the and I think I miscut this one. Doggone it, I did. Okay, I wasn't paying attention. I cut that one at 2 1/4. Okay, I will show you how we're going to fix this. Okay, everything is fixable. All right, I need mats now at 4 1/2 by 3 1/4. So let's see, 4 1/2, 4 1/2. Let's try it this way. You may end up with color cardstock scraps. 3 1/4. Okay, 3 1/4. And then let's just check this. This needs to be 5. Yep, that won't work. So we're going to set this piece aside. 4 1/4. Okay. Supposed to be 4 1/2. Yep. Again, we'll find a use for that. Okay, so 4 1/2. Three 1/4. So I'm leaving the mistakes in, guys, because I can kind of work through with you how to fix that. Okay, so I've got the mats for those. Now these need to be 5 1/4. Okay. Five 1/4 by 2 3/8. Boy, I'm not doing very well. 2 3/8. Okay. All right, that's going to fit right in there. Okay, we're going to do some we're going to glue this down. Well, that's 5. So 5 1/4. here. Okay, you haven't lost me here. See how wide this one is. Not wide enough. Okay. All right, so 1, 2, and an 1/8, so 3/8, 2. Okay. This is 5, so 5 1/4. Okay, well that was certainly messy. Okay, I'm going to bring my mat in. Everything slides around on the glass. Okay, so in the carpentry world, they always say, measure twice, cut once. That might have been a good thing to have thought about in this situation. It looks like what happened was my eyes got attached to the wrong spot. These are all very plain, so it's not gonna, we didn't get into anything too complicated in fixing it. 3 and 4. And like I said, I try to leave the mistakes in just because it gives you a chance to see, oh, I messed that up, and so what am I supposed to do? Okay, so let's say because 2 of those pieces were more narrow, you would just cut your mats down a little smaller, okay? You don't have to, it doesn't mean that you throw your pattern paper away and start over. I have done that. Well, I don't think I've ever done where I had to just like totally throw in the towel and say, oh wow, that's just totally wrong. Okay. This is a really quick card. Now, again, there's no mat at the back. So this is going to go, these are going to go directly on the front of the card. I'll show you how that's going to work. This is that heavier weight cardstock that I've got a bunch of. Okay, so this piece goes here, and this piece goes here. Now, if I wanted, I could put one of those. Remember when we first started doing all of this together, I would use a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 mat and put it in behind. I am not going to do that in this case, and the primary reason is that this cardstock that I'm putting it on is heavy, and I don't want my card to get too thick. 2. Okay, and let me give you one other tip here. If, for example, your this piece for some reason ended up too short, you turn it this way. You can put that like that. Put that, no, that's the same way. Okay, you could put this way, okay, and put it this way. But again, we're not going to do that. We're going to make these 4 nice and simple. Just like this pattern would be really, this template would be really cute with some real bright stuff with like balloons and stuff out in the middle, and that card base is folded over just a little bit off. Which would normally be the thing you would check before you got this far, Barb. I don't know if you can hear the mower outside. It's the day after Memorial Day, and there are some people who decided not to mow on the holiday that need to mow now. Okay. All right, let's take a look at some of the things I'm going to put on the front. This is a happy birthday card. I could put this just like this, or I could glue this on here and then put it in there, which is what I'm going to do. Kind of dresses it up just a little bit. Okay. If I was brave, I'd just take my scissors and do this, but I'm not brave. Okay, so that is these little white cards are 2 2.25. So this needs to be, so that's 2.5. Okay. It's as close as to math as I get, guys. Okay, there's 1. It's a little too wide for that, and I will cut these white ones down in order to make that work, because I'd like to save that really big piece. Okay, let me see if we can think of anything else creative to do here. I could do this and put the white piece in the middle. I still like the idea better of putting this in here. Okay, so let's do a little more math. All right, so this is 2 inches. So if I come in 1/4 inch from 2 inches, that's 1 3/4. Okay. I made these little cards on my silhouette. Again, so these are 2 inches wide. So I want to cut 1/4 inch off each side. I'm going to grab my other cutting platform. Mostly because it gives me the ability to do this. There's I really want to take like 1/8 of an inch off of each side so that this then is 1 3/4. Let's see how this looks. Yep, I didn't quite cut, so I'll trim that with the scissor. Yep. This is 3. Let's be brave. Looky there. Almost straight. Which is why I don't usually cut with the scissors, guys, because I'm just really not very good at it. And that's just a teensy on the crooked side, but that's okay. We're going to cut this one on the cutting platform since I really don't like the way the other one looked. Okay. It's 3. Okay, we'll go ahead and get 2 inches, cut a strip that's 2 1/4. And then this is 1 2 1/4, so this is 2 1/2. All right. One of these cards will go to my brother-in-law, Denny, whose birthday he and my husband share June 5th as a birthday, only 4 years apart, which is, my husband has always, as the youngest, has always referred to himself as the reluctant twin who decided to let his brother go first to see if it looked like it was going to be okay out there. All right, Random Acts of Kindness Studios. That's how I card make. My granddaughter got me this stamp. I will write on inside the card going to my brother-in-law, I will write a message, and I will also put a little tag on the back that says, if you would like to watch me make this card that you're holding, you can go to YouTube to Random Crafty Acts and click on the playlist under Mass Making Videos. Number 2. If you have not already subscribed, I would appreciate if you'd click on the subscription button, click on Random Crafty Acts, the title of the channel, click on the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything and it doesn't obligate you to anything, but it does help me get these videos out. I always note in my videos, not just the Jess Crafts or anybody whose work I'm using, but also Operation Gratitude, which is where I donate all of my cards, and a link for them will be included in the description so that you can check them out and see if you too can be a part of that. All right, thank you very much for being here, and I hope you'll check back to see what we've got going on.